Yo, welcome back, guys. Today we've got a 1954 Plymouth Savoy. It's been sitting for, I'm told, 15 years. It was in a garage most of that, and then it's been outside for the last 5 years, but the guy who rents over at this house has kind of been keeping it clean. However, it belongs to the landlord, and the story I got is that he bought it again about 15-20 years ago or so. Drove it for a while, and then he parked it in the garage. Actually, now that I'm looking at the inspection, that was at 09, and then it was rejected, so maybe it was probably like 12 or 13 years since it's been on the road. But anyway, he had sold the property where it had the garage, and then it's been kind of sitting here ever since. And fortunate enough that the guy renting here likes to keep it clean. But he said the landlord has made some attempts to try to start it recently, and no luck on that. So today we're gonna see if we get fired up, do a quick tour, and he is interested in selling it. So after you see this video, if you're interested in purchasing, shoot me an email over at it's in the about section of my page, or you can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook and all that. So we'll start with a quick walk around tour, and I'm hoping maybe we can get this thing cruising today. I mean, 13 years is not much time for something to be sitting. Looks like it has had a restoration at one point. I would say that paint probably doesn't look original. Bumper chrome is beautiful. A little bit of pitting starting on there. Hey, there's May. There's a gas tank. Let's see what that smells like. Oh yeah, it's pretty darn nasty feel in there. It sounds like we're going to be able to. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Inside the trunk. Ooh. Now, water's definitely been getting in here. Unfortunately, nobody's cleaned these gutters out, and when that happens, it just comes right in. Smells like mildewy. These are hubcaps. It's a giant sail ship on there. Kind of cool. So we got some peak antifreeze, carb choke cleaner, ignition coil, wasp and ant spray, a Kenwood amplifier that is hopefully not, oh yeah, it is wired into the car, so somebody got a stereo system. The IBEW 827, local 827 there. Oh, yep, here is the mouse nest. Wonder if anybody's still in there. So somebody's been wrenching and tuning things up. You got a Snap-on wrench, made in USA. It's old school one. It doesn't have the Flank Drive Plus though, which is actually a whole set of Snap-on wrenches. Those are worth some money if they come with the car. That's nice. All right, so I think I've seen enough in the trunk here. Pretty nasty. And this rubber seal is just shot. Actually, why would that? It almost seems like a chemical got on there. And it got all, because that's just blocking up the water flow. You're almost better off taking that off so the water can come down. And wait, well, maybe come back to that. Was that just, yeah, that's good. Okay. And sweep it down the body lines. I mean, she's pretty darn straight from what I can see. You got the wing windows on the back. We'll jump in, and the front, which is just awesome. Old school mirror. It's really a good looking car. Well, is that a dent? Yeah, I guess that would. Yeah, couldn't tell for sure. But the body's looking nice. Ooh, nice and solid. No Bondo in there. I wonder if that's a brand new fender. If this thing was just that clean. I'm starting fluid sitting up on the bumper. Beautiful looking. Is that a ship too, or a feather, or I don't know, a duck bill? I don't know what the heck that is. Coming around the other side, you got some white walls on there. You should probably find the DOTs. I mean, we already saw the inspection, so they're probably from around that time. And another can of carb cleaner. That'll fix it up. Fix it right. Just keep hitting it with some carb cleaner. It's got mirrors on both sides, so I bet you that's probably not factory. You would think, back in the day, it was all 2-lane roads. You'd have only one mirror, like driving to Torino back home from Vegas with the single mirror, or the El Camino, same difference. What a headache doing that. This door's not latching all the way. But yeah, overall, exterior's looking very nice. Roof's nice and solid, no rot. Somebody definitely did a decent job restoring this. It's very unfortunate for it to be sitting outside. I wonder if this is like on the F100 where this pops up for airflow. That'd be awesome if so. I wish new cars still had that, because I'm just not a fan of AC at all, honestly. Oh, unless it's like really hot and muggy or down south, then you kind of need it. Well, let's pop in here. I like the door handles on it. Ooh, wow, nice action. Oh, it just got wafted with mouse piss stink. So this is nasty in here, guys. But there's another. I'm just gonna kind of hold my breath. Another sail ship on there. It's got 39,000 miles, and based on, yes, this has all been repainted looking. In fact, you can see the bubbling on paint job here. Like maybe it was rusted before or something. You guys probably can't see it on this camera, but based on what I'm seeing in here, it could be original miles. I mean, look at these seats too. These are beautiful. It's really a shame that these mice get in here. I mean, it's just tough. It smells terrible. And you see, and you get the piss soaked all around too. Everything metal. Like these floors are probably starting to, oof. Yeah, it's got to be, unfortunately, gutted out for sure. Now there's manual trans, so that's nice to see. Ooh, good action there. The brake goes to the floor. We got no brakes. Gas pedal. Hear that carburetor going, not locked up. What the heck is this? That's probably parking brake. Yep. That's like the Toyota style. Love it. My Toyotas, you guys know if you've seen a Toyota pickup. Very cool. And that seems to work well also. Ooh, I don't want to break that off. That'd be an expensive part. Not too much play in the steering, so I guess this is probably 3 on the tree up here. And this is our this glove box in the center. That's kind of cool. We got keys in here and in the ignition. I said, I think the title might even be kicking around somewhere too. Hopefully not. Let me just come up and take this. Ashtray here probably, right? Yep. Has it been used much? No. It's been used, but not much. What do we got here? I don't know what that is. Here's a look at the climate control. You got blower switch on this side and a defrost for that side, and fresh air. Does that move? No. So this is, you go off, summer or winter. I love how it's all chrome bezel on there. Cold, it's on cold right now. Pretty tight though. Cables probably need some lubing. And looks like maybe it used to have a stereo, but somebody put a block off plate, or I'm not sure. Not sure, but I'm loving a steel dash. I mean, it's awesome unless your head hits it. You know, that'd be pretty bad. But here's just a sweep across on these gauges. Those are in beautiful condition. Lights down here. This is your panel light adjustment. Wipers. Looks like 2 settings on them. Oh, and then lights here too. Oh, that's lighter over here. Okay. Let's check out the back. See if these windows move. Oh, perfect. Imagine that. Manual windows. You know, just so much better than that electric BS in cars today. Wing windows even go out. Or I call them wing windows, quarter windows. I don't know. Every time I call them something, like people comment down below and say, "They're not called that." Let's see how far this one goes out. Yeah, that's a big boy. Imagine how much wind that would grab. Look how far it sticks out. It's catchy. I mean, you can probably lose half a mile a gallon with that thing, but just get blasted with air. Love it. Absolutely wonderful. Oh. Yeah, I mean, so fortunately the seats aren't all chewed up or anything. And while it stinks terrible in here, this could definitely be cleaned out. Ooh, a headliner too. That's really nice condition. Oh, let's pop open the hood on this. Looks like maybe, there we go. And some rusted spark plugs. And yeah, these are newer AC Delco, so somebody's been in here definitely recently. This has got an inline 6. It looks like an, oh, that's probably an oil bath air filter on there, right? Oh yeah. It is. How about that? And I just got it all over my hands. And I got a light so you guys can see a little bit better. The blower motor coming into the HVAC box, which this is the heater core right there. Look at how convenient that is. Comes right off, water pump. If you got to replace it, boom. No need to rip apart your entire car. Here's the inlet for that. These bazooka horns, these things are huge. Awesome looking. Looks like radiator's leaking. Yep, you got some green coolant coming out on that old brass radiator. And yeah, it's kind of jumping around here. You got some newer hoses. Here's a look at the generator. And this is a 6-volt positive ground. You can see a 3-cell battery. You can see the positives going right to the ground on it. So I haven't really ever messed with many of those, if I'm being straight. I get that battery on charge. Has a 2019 sticker on it, December 2019. And you see somebody's put a new cap on it. Wires, not new, but new coil. What is this? I want to say this is a canister style oil filter, but look at the lines going through to it. They're these tiny little 3/16 brake lines. They're coming off the block, so that must be. You see at some point the freeze plugs rusted through. Somebody put those rubber ones in there that you just tighten the nut down. I seem to be sealing that up good. There's one of the original freeze plugs or core plugs, is what I think they're actually known as. And there's your no power steering on this, of course, manual steering, and there's the shift linkage coming down from the 3 on the tree going to the trans. All that looks linkage looks pretty tight and nice. This is the parking brake cable, I think. Yeah, that's what that is. And the clutch pedal is full mechanical linkage, no cables or reservoirs or anything. Linkage right over to the bell housing or to the clutch. Oh, look, a Chinook going over. How about that? You don't see one of those every day. So here's our oil fill with breather. Back when you didn't need PCV at all. Not that, I mean, PCV, positive crankcase ventilation, is actually a good thing. Oils right at the add mark and clean. That's good to see. Never like to see them overfilled. Some kind of fresh wire job somebody did going up to that coil. So I was just digging through my bed, and it turns out I didn't bring my charger, the NoCo 6-volt charger that I would be putting on this. Let's see if it's got any voltage at all. I don't know. Probably not. It's been sitting. It's got the same key as a Fury. Nothing budging on there. Oh, how about that? We do have juice. Let's listen to a crank. That's very surprising. Yeah, all right. That's actually a pretty decent little crank. You know, our jump packs, of course. You know, those jump packs should do. The 6 volts would be great, but of course, what's 6 volts these days? So, oh man, that's tough, because now we don't want to run this battery down unnecessarily. First thing's going to be checking for spark. I've now got the power probe hooked up to the battery, and you can see on here we've got 6.6 volts. That's a very healthy battery. And I'm assuming this guy didn't have spark. I don't know that for sure, but just seeing the new spark plugs, the coil cap, and he couldn't get it running, I'm assuming that that's probably the case. So let's do some testing here. We got 6.6 volts on the positive side of the coil, which goes down to the points. So that's normal. Since it's positive ground, the points would be on the switching side, and on the negative, I got 6.6 volts too, but that just means the windings inside are good. Let me disconnect. And with that disconnected, we should have a ground on this side, which we don't. It's just showing 2.4 volts. What's up with that? And on the other side, same thing. Again, just showing that the windings. But again, the key's not on though. I guess the ground would be the switched part, right? Let's try to turn. Why did I reach my hand through there? I'm looking at the camera. Turn the key on. All right, and now we got ground on that side. Good ground. So that's working. I guess let's just check for spark, you know? I've got the high tension secondary lead leaning on the block, and then we got a solenoid, starter solenoid down here. Then we got positive, so it'll be ground to crank it. Let's see if we got spark. No spark. And the obvious next choice is going to be checking the points, which this more than likely has, unless somebody swapped it over to electronic ignition. Yep, it's got points, all fresh in there though. You'd hope whoever put them in knew what they were doing, but apparently not, because, well, I guess we could check for that pulsing positive that we're looking for. No, I think we'll just nudge it over until we're on the peak of the cam. Check for gap. Oh yeah, big old gap on there. Yep, that is breaking the gap because we don't have positive there anymore. And we know it's making contact because we saw positive before, so that's very odd. It's not sparking. It must just be a bad coil, which is pretty darn rare, and especially because it has continuity through the windings, but that doesn't mean the secondary windings are good. I'll be honest though, the gap is pretty darn hefty on these points. Should be about 20 thou. The current gap measures out to 35 thousandths, and I looked up the spec. It is indeed 20 with a dwell of 36 to 42 degrees. And we'll tighten that down a little bit, but I don't think that's going to solve our issue. And with those adjusted, let's see if we have a pulsating positive. Yes, we do. Got the ignition key on. Let's see. Yeah, we got spark now. It was simply just that gap too big. That's awesome. I'll get the hose from the filter going into that jug and then feeding the carb. I'm gonna turn this fuel on at this point and we'll see if we get flow or any leakage in the carb. Don't see the level dropping on there immediately, but this is a pretty small bowl. It's okay though, because there is no shortage of starting fluid around here. Let's give her some starting fluid and then see what happens. We don't want to run that battery down because we don't have a 6 volt. So yeah, our bowl's not getting anything, so it's pointless to try to start it on starting fluid at this point. Things are coming apart smoothly. It definitely smells really bad, so I imagine it's gonna be super gunked. Now, I always try to avoid taking the carb apart because we rip the gaskets and then we're gonna need a rebuild kit. And yeah, these ones ripped a little bit. Not too gunky in here, and actually, okay, yeah, the float is seized on it. It's got a brass float in it, and after getting it loosened up, it seems like it should work fine. It was just taking some fuel. I'll turn this valve back on, and we'll see if it shuts off. Yep, it's trickling in, coming in, coming in, coming in. No, it didn't shut off. A bunch of rust crud in there. Ooh, really thick stuff too, so that either that filter's rusting out on the inside or somebody didn't have the filter on. That came from the tank. Definitely just have to do a full rebuild on this. We want to check out a bunch of other stuff too. Of course, I'm just trying to get it running. It needs a new seal on the pumper. That's falling apart. We got the fuel valve on now, and after doing a quick little spit shine down there, we got this float working and sealing off the flow. Somebody had this clip in wrong too. It was like twisted and jamming up the brass float. Now, even with that torn gasket, I'm gonna try to slap this back on, see if we can get it running now. Got it all back together with the exception of the pumper arm, because that was kind of jerry rigged on there before, and the seal, and that's like falling apart, so I don't want that shooting a bunch of debris. But when you're bolting one of these carbs down, I noticed these bolts, these four anyway on this side, are passed through, and so you get that clamping action on the bottom just from the tension up top. But if you over torque that, you'll snap those ears off right away, so you gotta be careful. And you see it's got the manual choke override on it too. Let's see if that manual choke, yeah, it shuts off automatically too when you hit the gas, the throttle, and it also opens the choke flap a little bit. This arm flapping in the wind, that's for the pumper. Sounds like pretty steady compression across the board, but only hitting on one cylinder, it seems like. I suppose the firing order could be all out of whack since somebody did the cap and rotor on it. I was just doing some research, and this is Chrysler's 218 inline six flathead, or it could be a 230. I think it's, but they're pretty much the same minus the crank and rods. I found the firing order. I'm gonna take plug number 1 out, crank it over, get us on the compression stroke, and see what's going on. getting fuel in there. Not seeing any marks on the crank. Oh, there we go. Another way to check that you're on the fire stroke is just put a hose on the open hole. Oh, both valves are closed. If it was on the overlap stroke, it would be intake and exhaust would be open a crack. So now we should have the distributor pointing toward that cylinder. And we do. So that's good. Now I just gotta double check the firing. The problem is you never know when you weren't the last one in here. You never know how things were put back together, if they did them right or whatever the case. The rotor's just kind of flopping in the wind like it's missing something. Okay, that's a little bit tighter. Bent the tab over. And which way does that distributor go? Clockwise. The timing should be 153624. So we got 153 is on number 4. 4, 5, yeah. All right, so that's wrong. I assume the middle ones are just swapped. Let's just swap those over. Oh, 1, 5, 3, 6. Yep. What did I say? 4, 2, 4. So that's 2 and 4. So with those middle 2 wires flipped over, that would make a big difference. Let's try starting it now. And just shut the fuel off too, because it seems that needle is leaking. I don't remember it being that low. You guys have been no better than me based on watching the video, but definitely was a lot higher than that before. Sprayed or something. Should be wearing safety glasses. Idling too. And smoking. A little smoky, a little knocky too, but well, that's probably normal. This thing's actually pretty darn quiet for what it is. Man, it stinks. Let's check our fuel coming out. Oh yeah, we got fuel coming out of the pump too. Check that out. Let's see. We'll let that run for a minute. It's good we didn't pump that into the carb or on the ground for that matter. Yeah, she's idling good. Definitely a smoky old pig, but that, you know, that might clear up. Oof, stinky. It's the old fuel. I mean, it's just, you know, I got fresh fuel running actually. I'm not sure why it stinks so bad. It's also kind of humid today, so there's probably a lot of moisture in there, but no, that's oil burning for sure. Yeah, I went ahead and jammed open the choke with a turkey baster, and that's opening up on its own. It uses the heat from the exhaust to heat the spring up in there. Maybe there wasn't very much gas in the tank, but whatever is in there got pumped into here. See if anything else still coming. And it's still a trickle coming out of there. I didn't bother checking the water level yet because I saw it trickling out of the top of the radiator, well, top 3/4. So let's pop that open. We got a little bit of pressure, feels like. Nope. All right, let's see how much it takes. We had a brand new jug of Peak in the trunk, pre-diluted. Again, I didn't check this before because it looked like to me it was trickling out of the top 3/4 of the radiator. But pretty low, so not about yay much. And she's starting to clear up a little bit out back. Oh my god, I see chunks of stuff. That's probably just off the ground. It's a peppy little V6 for a single barrel. I kind of like this thing actually. It's said it was for sale, but I don't know. Kind of digging it. Yeah, I was just blowing leaves off the ground here. Oh, I just saw that in the nick of time. Got lucky we didn't overfill the other gas from the tank. And landlord's got some other tanks sitting back here. Let's see if there's anything in these. It's empty. He'll run it longer and fill this up with that old fuel. Looking at the camera screen, I almost got hung here walking by. Ooh, that would be, I'm just gonna let that keep running, start putting some of my tools away. And you know, just because this old gas, I mean, it smells really bad, but like old varnish, I'm sure you could still run it. It's just not a good idea to. I mean, let's do the burn test. Now, it will definitely light it on fire on this receipt. Probably just burn more as diesel. It loses its volatility. Ooh, actually, that's pretty volatile still. I'll just run this through the Tundra though. Yeah, I tell you, I've ran much worse through this. If anything, if the octane's low enough, you might get a bunch of pinging. But nah, I mean, I'm already 3/4 tank, so it's just mixing in. Motor's already beating this thing anyway. It's been for years. I just keep driving it. But you can see this has stopped smoking altogether, which is fabulous. Been kind of sitting here running for a little bit. I know, sorry about the lighting, it's starting to get dark, but running a little hard, and yeah, definitely cleared up a ton of that smoke. So I'm gonna say whatever that was, I don't know. I mean, things are looking good. She's running healthy. Tiny little misfire here and there, but not so bad. We got good charging voltage on the power probe, showing 7 volts. I guess fully charged on this battery would be what, 6.3, right? 12.6 would be 12 volts. And actually, the guy is showing up now who's renting at this place, who kind of got me this deal. Hood just gets ripped out of your hand. I like that. Try to push the clutch in and see if she'll roll forward or backward at this point. Got her moving a little bit, as you can see. Even the headlights work, along with the tail lights and tag bulbs. But yeah, it goes into all the gears. It's either 2-speed or 3-speed, I'm not sure. And I do have it hooked up to the fuel tank now. We pumped out about 10 gallons of that, and then I put a few more gallons in it. So it's mixed with pretty good fuel now. I'd say this could drive home as long as we did the brakes on it. Got those working. I'll just get this lifted up a little bit, take a peek underneath. We can see things are looking mighty fine. Yeah, grease zerks on all the suspension and components, as it should be. Steering, look at that. So it just has a pitman arm coming off the steering box, and that's it. Couple tie rod ends, that's the whole steering. Pretty steep angle on those outers. I don't see any brake fluid pissing from the drums, but wow, look at that frame. I mean, check this thing out. And taking a look at the back, same deal. Looks like a newer fuel tank. It's got a 3rd member, so like a 4.9-inch style differential on it. Pinion seal's leaking some, and no U-joint. It's got, I don't know, I guess it's like a CV joint or something on the front as well. So I guess with the limited angle, they didn't even need to put a U-joint in these. Leaf springs in the rear. And I mean, wow guys, just look at those body mounts and the frame. You know, yes, this has been restored and such, but they I can't say enough times, they took a good vehicle to do so with. Look at the bottoms of those doors. That's the original pinch seam there. It's not been redone. So this thing is beautiful. So that's gonna wrap it up for tonight, since it's raining. But I'm gonna try to get in contact with the landlord owner on this, see what he wants to do, and go from there. And the day is stopping in for a quick brew at the Craft Hall. This place is raging here. Got the downstate ADV in the house. Yeah, good old fried chicken sandwich. Oh yeah. Actually, my hands look all dirty on camera, but they're not dirty in person. They're clean. course, I got the floors out, or the carpets out. We are going to pick up the compact head of cabbage with crinkled leaves, also known as the Savoy. The guy wants to get it off the property, came to a reasonable deal, so we're gonna go pick it up and see where we go from there. We could have tried pouring brake fluid in it, pumping up the brakes, but after talking to the owner, he said it has a brake leak. He couldn't trace where the brake fluid was going, but he knows for sure it has a leak, so I figure a safer bet to just go pick her up. Quick true story about Jen and how good she is with music. I once sang a few notes, I'm gonna sing for you guys, or I hummed them better yet, trying to think of a song that was in my head, and I could hear like a chorus of women and guys singing together, and I could hear this loud music in my head, but I couldn't think of what they were saying or what the song was. But here's what I sang for her. I went, da na na na, da na na na, na na, and that's all I could hear in my head. And she actually guessed what the song was. Let's see if you guys, I'm gonna play it now for you, so if you have a guess, go ahead and pause it, but here it goes. Just a fabulous song. Of course, I can't play any more than that of it because of copyright. But yeah, check it out. Aquarius, Let the Sun Shine In. I know most of you guys have already heard that song, but wonderful. It reminds me of driving around as a kid in my mom's like 1970s Buick LeSabre. And anyway, we are just about to pull up. We're like a minute away. Coming through Bridgeport, little town, right along the Raccoon Creek. Yes, the Raccoon Creek, connected to the Delaware right down yonder. We actually could have taken the boat here, really. It's cool they got this little walkout, you know, state built, of course, with the 1-inch plate aluminum, really cool. Got that old abandoned house right there on the end too. I'll probably refurbish that and just, what an amazing river view. Put a dock in, good to go. The Raccoon Creek, bridging into the past. Not gonna bore you guys with reading all that, but hang out here for a minute. There is a girl. In addition to the Savoy, I ended up buying all of this as well. It's an old handicap ramp system with lift, and that piece, so all this, I think I'll be able to put it to good use or do something with it, you know, flip it, whatever the case. But you got a couple platforms, these big platforms. Like, this is great. It'd be good for somebody, you know, build a dock out of it. Let's see if this thing will start up, and who knows, maybe we can drive it on. There it is. Cold start, whisper quiet. No smoke out of the tailpipe. Clean as can be. Parking brake works excellent, so I decided to take it for a little rip. Drives nice. Brakes were sticking at first, and then they loosened up. So I'm pulled up on there, yank the parking brake, be good to go. He's got a trailer with removable fenders. Oh, come on. We are locked and loaded, kind of sloppy. Left some of the pieces here because I'm going to try to sell those and just have them picked up from here, that lift over there. But yeah, let's get this thing home. Might want to roll the window up because it looks like it might rain. Now it opens because I'm not sitting in it. Check out how easy this window cranks open. Look at this, or cranks shut. One, it's like one round to go. There you go. Done. Unbelievable. got her back home safe, and we're ready to start closing this video out. And yes, this is for sale. So might be doing a part 2 where we clean it up some more, get the brakes working and such. Not 100% sure on that, but there will be closure either which way. If you want to submit your best offer on this, that's kind of how I'm doing it. Just shoot me an email. That's the only way to put an offer in, at NoNonsenseKnowHow@gmail.com. I'll put that in the description as well, and we'll just kind of do a quick last sweep around, look underneath again. You see some blue inside this headlight. Looks like maybe it's starting to get ready to blow out or something. Definitely some pitting around these bezels. I mean, this is not a mint car, but it is certainly, I mean, a ton of potential to just be a wonderful cruiser driver. Like brand new tires on here. These are DOT 2008, but zero dry rot at all. I mean, I would run these all day long, you know, but if you want to be safe, certainly a good idea to replace them. I'm just trying to get you guys, you know, some more clips around. Look on the bottoms of each of these doors, I suppose would be a good idea. You know, sometimes people get things shipped and such. You know, a little bit of rust down there, but not rotted by any means. I really would love to do a part 2. We'll take Jen out to dinner in this thing. Not seen any dry rot. Here's a look at the tank. Oh, all right, so back here, a little bit of rot through on one of the body mounts. Doesn't look horrible, but yep, that's something to consider. Here's a look at the leaves. Interesting looking leaf springs on those, actually. Some bubbling back here on the paint. And let's see how that body mount's perfect. Not sure what this little strip here is. I think something was maybe welded at some point. Ton of tread on those tires. I mean, yeah, you can see they got that sheen on them. So anyway, that does close it off. Hopefully we'll get this off to a new owner who's gonna store it in the garage. It's just too good for me. I mean, this thing is way beyond my pay scale. You know, I just it has to be in a climate controlled garage, and that's what it deserves. Thanks again, everybody, so much for tuning in and watching. We'll wrap this video up with the final closing on the M38A1 that has gone off to a new owner, the Dauntless Death Trap Jeep. So that was a fun little rig, but again, something that just needed, we had fun with it. It was a good time, but it's off to a new owner who's doing some videos on it too. So if you want to check those out, I will drop them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again in a future video very soon. No doubt.
Perfecto.
Go on over, Ted. Go.
He's camera shot.
All right, we got the proud new owner, Mike, here of the M38A1.
Be truthful, the CIA and the FBI are looking for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Ted over here has confirmed it's military, because so many people were commenting on the listing saying that's a CJ5, it's not military. But you said you're gonna do a couple videos on this thing too, or
Well,
what's your plan? Would you say?
I'm just gonna paint a camo. I'm just noticing this. I'm gonna see if there's this was a Marine Corps Jeep.
Oh yeah.
Yellow. It'd be white if it were Army. Cool. And I'll paint a camo and put a floor in it and get some seats.
Cool.
Take the cars and coffee.
He gives his word he's going to get this thing on the road and trail worthy, and I'll drop a link to his video down below when and if he sends it over to me, so you guys can check it out and see this thing in action. Happy
in Baltimore.
Happy to see it go to a good owner, and hey, great meeting you, Mike.
See you here.
Thanks again, dude. Off to a new home. Even comes with the plate. Oh my God, look at the body. And who was being a good little boy? Oh, you're getting ready to sprint outside, aren't you now? I see that. I know that look. What's up, Gus? You ready to play? Yeah. It's like midnight. Full of energy, aren't you now? Where's Turbo at? Where's your Turbo, buddy? Oh, sleepy cat. Dirtying up the bed. Gus, get him. Get him, boy. What is it? Turbo's like, shut up. Leave me alone. Gus, you want to show everybody your new steps? Come on. Come on, boy. Come on. Oh, he's such a good boy.